Hello, dear Squarespace friends. So this week I visited someone's website and started browsing, and I noticed that all of their external links opened in the same window. They didn't have it set so that it would open in a new window or new tab. Why does this matter? This is one of those really small things that we can do to optimize our website for SEO. Google likes it when our site visitors spend a lot of time on our websites. By opening external links on the same page, you are effectively sending people away from your website. And then they have to go and click on the back button to get back if they even want to. By using the Open in New Window function, you open that external link in a new tab or new window, and then, the tab for your website is also still open. So once your site visitor has looked at that external link, they can easily get back to your website. Or even if they didn't intend to go back to your website, they will still have that tab open. So they will have to go back there, to either close it or to then go, oh, hang on, I wasn't actually finished here. There is more that I want to check out. It is such an easy little thing, that is also very easy to miss. So, just to give you an example. So here, I have my toolbox page with my links to apps that I use in my business. And when you click on them, they open in a new tab. So I can easily go back to this one here if I want to keep browsing more. Now, sometimes I will also use this for internal pages. So the rule of thumb is that for internal links, you can just open them in the same page. And that's perfectly fine because people will still be on your website. But sometimes I think even there it makes sense to use the Open a New Window feature. So for instance here, I have my one of my course sales pages, and here is a link, internally to one of my other courses. So when you click on that, I want that to also open in a new window or new tab, because I want people to easily be able to go back to the course that they were checking out. So while it's nice, that they're now also checking out my other course, this is where they started, and I want to make it as easy as possible for them to go back there. So in Squarespace, one of the issues we have is that adding the feature, to open in any window takes like 4 or 5 steps. They really don't make it easy for us. And I think that is why many people don't think to do this, because it's a little bit buried inside the link editor. So I'll give you an example here, and I will show you how to do this. How do we open links in new windows or tabs? So you have a link here. So, you highlight where you want to link, go to the link editor, and then here, you can add the URL, which can either be, the slug for your web page or for your website, and or it can be the URL for the external website. And oftentimes people just add something here, click on apply, and that's it. They don't do anything else. However, you need to go into the link editor settings. So let's click on that, and then here you have the toggle Open in New Window. So we'll turn that on, we click on Save, and now people often think, well, that's it, I'm done. No, you still have to click on Apply. This is what I mean, there are too many steps, to be honest, and we have been on Squarespace about this for quite a long time. Maybe one day they will fix this and make it easier, because this is a feature that we use all the time. So make sure you do that and make it easier for people to go back to and stay on your website and keep browsing more. Tip number 2, have a customized 404 page. What is the 404 page? This is what you see when people land on your website with a URL that doesn't exist on your website. So either because they mistyped the URL, or maybe it's a page that you have deleted, or maybe you changed the URL slug of this page. There are many reasons why this can happen. And you probably have seen the standard 404. It's like, oh, yeah, sorry, something went wrong. And it doesn't really give you much else. They're kind of ugly pages and people are just like, oh, okay, this doesn't work. I'm out of here. Don't do that. It's very easy to create a custom 404. All you have to do is create a page in your not linked section, call it 404. Make sure that in your SEO tab of that page, you hide it from search results, because we do not need to find this page in search results. And then just, customize it. Add a photo, do something a little funny, So here, I have a photo of my little office assistant, for instance. And then I, give people the option to search my website for what they were looking for, or I'll just say, browse my website, look at my courses, read my blog, contact me, because maybe you have a question, or, go to my newsletter page. So give people some options to stay, don't send them away by having the ugly 404 default page. I explain how to set this up in the blog post that is corresponding to this video, by the way. Then tip number 3 is to add 301s to your website. Now, what are 301s? 404s and 301s. 301s are redirects. And this is basically what you ideally want to do. Ideally, you don't have any pages on your website that trigger a 404. Although bear in mind, someone can also land at a 404 if they mistyped something. So it's always a good idea to have your custom 404 page. But ideally, for any links that have changed or pages that you have deleted, create a 301 redirect. This means that if someone goes to that URL that doesn't exist on your page, but that used to be a valid URL, it now redirects them to a different page. Right? How do we do that in Squarespace? You go to Settings, Advanced, and then URL Mappings. You can see I have a lot of these. That's partly because when I moved my website from 7.0 to 7.1, all those years ago, I changed some of the structure of my pages, so I made sure, I had a whole list of pages that I knew where the URL would change. So I created the 301s for these. And the format is always the same. You add the slug for your URL, then you have a hyphen and the forward arrow. And then you have the new slug of the page that you want to redirect to. And then you just add 301 at the end. Again, in the blog post corresponding to this video, I take you through those steps. This is by far one of the easiest, maybe a bit more time consuming, but one of the easiest ways to optimize your website for SEO and to keep people on your website, because they are not going somewhere where they see like an ugly 404. Ideally, they go to a new page, that is still relating to the page that they were trying to access. Another tip, this is our tip number 4, is to create a custom, what I call thank you page, but it's really a post submit page. What is this? This is when you have a form or a newsletter block on your website, and once someone has submitted, either a message to you or subscribed to your newsletter, then they get redirected to this page, after they hit the submit button. And this is a really nice way of, again, keeping people on your website, because now you are offering them more things to do. For instance, here, this is what people get when they submit something on my contact page. They can click on this link here and get some quick answers. This takes them to my FAQ page, or they can just keep browsing, have a look at my blog or have a look at my toolbox. So all of this helps to keep people on your website. And how do you do that? Let me show you. So first, create your post submit page, put it in your not linked section, and just like with the 404 page, make sure that on the SEO tab you hide it from the search engines, because again, this is not a page that needs to come up in searches. And then on the newsletter blog or in a form blog, on the content tab, scroll down and go to where it says post submit. So here you can either, add a message, and that will just show a message here where the form field is after someone has submitted the form, or click on redirect, and after you've created your page, you just add it here. And so in this case, mine is called Studio Notes Thank You, and no need to open that in a new tab, and just make sure that the page exists, and then that's it. Then once someone has submitted it, they will get to this page here. It's, a little bit of work to set up, but once you've set it up, you never have to touch it again. And it's very effective for keeping people on your website. Finally, my fifth and last tip is to have a uncluttered and easy navigation at the top of your website. The navigation is really the backbone of your website, and it should be relevant, about who you are, what you offer, places that people are likely to visit, so in my case, I have a freebies page. I have a page with my courses because that's what I do. I teach online courses. I have my toolbox, which contains affiliate links and, helpful apps that I use in my business, and of course my blog. So think about the top 5 things that you ideally want your site visitors to see, and that make it easy for them to find out more about what you do or more about who you are. I also use the call to action button here in the navigation. This is easy to set up in Squarespace in your header. And this is what goes to my newsletter page, so this is a bit more prominent, but it's also a little bit on the side. Now, another thing that I don't do is I do not have social links in my top navigation. This is very popular these days, and it's not a bad thing, but social links take people away from your website. And I just don't want to encourage that too much. If someone really wants to know where I am on social, they can just scroll to my footer, and here are all my social links. People are very used to that, they're very used to going to the footer for this type of information. So these are my 5 tips, and I hope that they were helpful. If you implement these, you will definitely boost your SEO. Thank you so much.